drink. Like,
All right, we are live.
Hello.
Hello, welcome back to MarketPlays Monday, March 4th, 2024 edition.
Yes, it is.
hey guys.
Let me turn off. I always keep it here on my phone, just like monitor up, down, left, right, how the stream's doing. And yeah, so I guess let's, all right, so I guess as don't give me that look. So I guess as always, let's go around the table. We usually start with our tech guy, but this time let's start with the other guy, Mr. Financials. How are you today?
Doing good, Joseph. I guess if you guys all know me, I'm co-founder of MarketPlays, coming from a financial services background. Happy to be here, as usual.
Yeah, and what is MarketPlays, John?
Yes.
It's a yes.
Should I explain a little bit about MarketPlays, I guess?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess so. MarketPlays is your ultimate place if you want to collaborate in picking the best stocks, finding sweet spots in the market, opportunities in the market. So come check it out. My personal hub is Great White North, marketplace.com/Great White North. It's mostly consisted of Canadian financial stocks that pays hefty dividends. They're all traded in NASDAQ, so...
That was a great explanation, John. That left no questions.
What? Before we move on, and we also say there's a phenomenal MarketPlays line of merch. I say that because I know John's sipping from the mug right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, show the bear.
I thought he had the bowl. Yeah.
The bowl.
Oh, the bowl. Yeah,
Party bowl. Yeah.
I've already had my 2 cups of coffee today, where I'd happily show mine. But then moving on to the other guy on the call.
Hello, I'm the other guy. I'm the CTO and CEO of MarketPlace, also co-founder. I guess all titles. Just co-founder is fine. So I make the website. The website is basically where you go and then you can search for any niche on the market, and then you can select stocks and then basically invest together is what we call it. You have, let's say, 5-6 people. You all each vote on a stock to be on the portfolio, and that gets basically pulled into the portfolio and be calculated for you. And you can just buy that stock. You can just do due diligence together, chat together, do all sort of fun stuff. So I do the website. I make the website. If there are any problems, blame me. And my name's FA, by the way.
You'll probably hear that a few more times, blame FA, on this podcast. But yeah, I think the best way I like to describe it, at least, MarketPlays is your one-stop hub for you to make friends, join a community, and invest better together. Throw your ideas at other people, get ideas from other people, due diligence together. Someone always knows something that you don't, and MarketPlays is the platform for you to meet those people. And
see why Joseph is the marketing guy.
I was saying, yeah. By the way, I'm Joseph, and I don't know. Whatever title I get depends on when you ask. Director of marketing, the only founder, and then these 2 guys bought in. Chief marketing officer, I always say once we hit 1 million users, I'm releasing a book called How I Did It, and I'm not gonna mention either of you at all. It's gonna be my biography.
Just give me money, and I'll just give me shush money.
I'm gonna Zuckerberg both of you.
Dilute our stocks.
You're not even gonna mention negatively, just no.
There were these 2 guys that followed me around while I was taking night classes to learn to code. Want to be on the coattails of my success. But yeah, you know what? Before I sidetrack us too far, as I am known to do, this week we have all picked a stock. I originally intended this to be let's all pick a stock that reports earnings this week, but in my
tell on us.
Well, no. I'm not telling on you guys, because in the message I sent to John and FA, I just said, "All right, guys, pick a stock. We'll talk about it." I never mentioned earnings in the email, so I'll hold the L on this one, and I'll tell on you if I want to, FA. So we've all gone around and picked a stock.
Yeah, why don't you go start?
Yeah.
Title is week for earnings, and
it is. So I picked Costco stock. Costco, yeah, no, they're around the world. So I was gonna say for anyone not in the U.S., then it kind of hit me. No, Costco is very international. actually going to be opening even more locations, specifically in China this year.
Oh, really?
So
Under Costco brand or like Chinese brand?
I believe under the Costco brand.
Interesting.
But yeah, if you don't know, Costco is a wholesale warehouse, membership warehouse. You pay, I think it's like $50-$60 for a year, maybe a little more. I don't have a Costco near me, so don't quote me on that. And you can go and you can buy packages of food in bulk. Like, if you ever thought that you needed, like 6 weeks worth of toilet paper in one go, Costco's got you. If you need subpar rotisserie chickens, Costco's got you.
Subpar. Wow. Are you trying to get us canceled?
A little bit, yeah, because as I've learned doing the podcast with Dividend Dave, a couple of if I can just throw a weird opinion out there, it gets us clicks.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way anybody's gonna call rotisserie chickens at Costco bad.
I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying they're not better than anywhere else. Like, hot take, neither of you have this. Publix has by far the best rotisserie chicken.
We don't have a Publix, actually.
I've been to Publix, but never had the chicken.
The deli. I worked in one for 3 years, so I've had more than my fair share of it. Because that's what they catered for all the employee events and things. But Costco, though. So Costco currently trading about $7.60 a share, up like 16% year to date. 59.48, call it 60% over the last year, which is absolutely ridiculous. 245% over the last 5 years with a 0.76 beta. So, like, even with all this growth that is, I believe, outpacing the S&P 500, especially over the 5-year mark, you're still looking at a stock that is theoretically less volatile and therefore less risky if you go by the textbook finance definition, that is, of beta, than the overall market index, and paying about a $4 a year dividend, 0.5% yield, which is kind of funny because I see a lot of dividend investors who love Costco. But man, 0.5% is not a big yield. We'll be releasing earnings Thursday, and I want to compare Costco, in my opinion at least, either of you argue with me if I'm wrong, a lot to like what Dividend Dave said in last week's podcast about the Canadian banks. You kind of just know Costco's going to make a butt ton of money, and then you're going to move on. Their earnings calls are generally pretty uneventful, and we've lost FA. FA's back. They're expanding. They're growing. I like the company a lot personally, though. I don't have a Costco. Main competitors are kind of looking at BJ's Wholesale and Sam's Club. Both also doing extremely well. And then kind of like in a weird comparison also, I want to compare Costco a bit to McDonald's. When McDonald's did their earnings call like 3-4 weeks ago, they said they were benefiting highly from inflation, actually, because their average ticket price was higher. And, I mean, that just kind of makes sense. Food is more expensive, therefore Costco makes more money. Except on the rotisserie chicken, because that is the loss leader.
Yeah, I mean, they're not really making money from the chicken or the hot dog.
Yeah.
They're openly losing millions per year on both.
Yeah.
Hot dog combo, famously $1.50 for the whole hot dog combo. A couple years back, if you didn't hear the news, the current Costco CEO said that he was going to raise the price of the hot dog combo. And the founder of Costco threatened the CEO's family's lives.
What?
That's how. Yeah, you didn't hear about that?
I actually didn't know it was
Yeah.
that bad.
It ended up even, the CEO didn't even say it. It was a fake news on Twitter when like the whole blue check thing started going around. And the founder of Costco got in front of the press and was like, "I will murder you and your family." Can we say murder on YouTube? I know we can't say die or kill. That'll get us demonetized, but luckily we're not monetized anyway.
That's true.
So
I guess we're not looking to monetize YouTube, right? Like, we're looking to monetize the core app.
Well, yeah. I mean, if we get a little bit of, if we hit 1,000 subs, and we get a little of that YouTube monetization money, I won't turn it down. I mean, every like, what does that go on the balance sheet, or rather the income statement? Income from non-operating activities. Kind of like if we
like rents and stuff, right?
Yeah. I have no idea about those things.
I was like if we
tax guy.
If we flipped the old domain or something, I mean, it's income for the company. I wouldn't turn it down, but we're not doing this podcast for YouTube subs. Sub, though, while you're here, but more importantly, go make a free account on MarketPlays.com.
Yeah.
Um,
The one of you that are watching. Yeah. So Costco. What are the competitors? BJ's, and why do you think that Costco is the one to look at? Because BJ also has an earnings coming up.
BJ, yeah, they're also reporting earnings on Thursday. I gotta admit, I kind of picked Costco for the thumbnail of this video, but if I'm being fully honest, but I mean they're huge. They've got probably the biggest footprint of any of your wholesale clubs, second only maybe, and I mean maybe to Sam's Club, because of course Sam's Club has the full backing of Walmart right there beside it. Costco is a pure play wholesale club. And also, Costco has those wacky off the wall things that you don't really expect. Like they've got their in-house travel agency.
Oh, I
Yeah,
didn't know.
they have a lot of weird stuff that you wouldn't expect, right? Like
They
kind of like a small country, really.
they sell gold too. Like you can directly buy pure gold through them at market
I
price.
guess, like you can get like glasses and eye appointments too. I think in some stores.
I think you're right
Yeah,
about that.
that one's a little bit more used to because Walmart does that too.
Yeah.
So does Target,
Yeah.
who also
Passport
reports
photos.
tomorrow. Oh, they do passport photos. I didn't know that. And the pharmacy, which is pretty normal though, but
Yeah.
still
you can
worth
buy
a mention.
propane, I guess. Yeah, propane. Yeah.
Also does car rental too. Great.
Tires. Yeah, so I was just checking the number of stores. They haven't really drastically increased though. Why do you think that, Joseph? So there seems to be 600 something, 602 I think in the States, 108 in Canada, and then the rest are like 2 or 3 each. Like I think there's a few in Italy, France. So why do you think they are not physically populating their stores?
So I have a theory on that. And actually kind of goes back to like when I worked at Publix. Publix, when I worked there for a few years, and I don't know, I kind of nerded out over the stock because I owned a bunch of it. Do not have any of it now. Kind of miss it, but that's another talk. They talked a lot about how like when you're building a Publix, which is a smaller grocery store, how much you had to put into scouting the location. Is this going to be a good location? Is this where our target demographic lives? Will our target demographic live here 10, 15, 20 years from now? What are, expected sales? Also, Publix being a little more of a high-end grocery store, they kind of had to even look at the median income. I mean, it's not like when Starbucks expanded across the U.S. and across China, they put a Starbucks anywhere they could fit a Starbucks. I mean, there are multiple like Starbuckses in my city. I could hit 3 Starbuckses in a 5-minute drive, and I don't even live in that big of a city. I know I've seen in bigger cities, sometimes you can see a Starbucks inside another Starbucks.
I mean, it's certainly true for like Boston too, but with Dunkin's especially.
But so, and you take that though, going back to the Publix mentality, you've got to find the right place. Costco is a way bigger deal. It's a much bigger store. And Costco, I mean, they kind of have to build the warehouse. Another grocery chain like a Publix, they could just lease a building if they really wanted to put a Publix there. But Costco, they have to build the warehouse. They've got to put in the parking. They've got to look into, do we have enough employees? Will the market here sustain a Costco? So I think it has to be a slow, careful consideration when you're putting one in. You can't, again, they can't just say, hey, there's a Starbucks in Disney World now.
Yeah.
They've got to look at, we're about to put.
As they go, I guess, because there's also a whole supply line too. Right?
Yes,
like,
very much so.
That they can, assess it.
And I mean, they've got to look into, it's going to cost probably several million to put in a Costco. The budget of putting one up, you've got to be sure it's worth it.
Yeah. And it hasn't been around all that long. Like I thought Costco would be around like 50, 60 years, like back in like 60s, 70s. They were just founded in 97 or something.
I had that up in front of me. 1983 is when they were founded.
Oh, my bad.
I mean, that's right. We can spread disinformation. That's fine. Costco was founded in 2014. Did you guys know that?
What?
I just said let's spread disinformation on the internet.
I see. Was looking at the stock a little bit. Yeah, I mean, Costco definitely is great. I think it's a good long-term hold. The sentiment towards the company is really good too. Like people love Costco.
Oh, without a doubt.
People love talking about how good they treat their employees too all the time. It's like,
oh yeah.
definitely a company that is a solid blue chip stock that I
Yeah.
don't think it's ever gonna go away. And also only gonna go up.
I think
But
you got a
this
good
is
point. I saw a lot of analysts when I was researching this earlier. A lot of analysts are saying they're going to hit $1,000 a share by like the end of next year. So we're also still talking about, especially with the expansion into the Chinese market, a stock with some room to run.
yeah, definitely. Like imagine
Oh
if
wow.
if it gets a hold in Chinese retails, that would be huge actually.
Yeah. That's almost
Oh,
like another US basically in terms
yeah,
of market size.
it's
Yeah.
more than another U.S., isn't it?
Yeah, three
Yeah.
other
Like
USs.
significantly more. I mean,
I mean, not in the GDP wise,
In
definitely,
terms of
but
the purchasing
definitely,
power, I guess I was thinking,
well,
but yeah, in terms of population, it's like fivefold or something.
yeah, I was thinking population, purchasing power. Though you've got a good point. Yeah, Costco might be worth more per share than Nvidia. Coming up
Hmm.
soon near you. We're not going to talk about market cap. We're just going to talk about share price, which is there's one thing they teach you in finance business school. Share price doesn't really matter.
at all. You know, especially if you don't know how many shares there are.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So yeah, Costco might be $1,000 company with like a $500 billion market cap, versus
Yeah.
Nvidia's at what 2.1, 2.2 trillion.
Yeah,
If we head over to our fancy research tools made by our very own FA on MarketPlays.com, we can check Nvidia's live market cap and stock price.
21.
Okay, that's still pretty good considering they just hit 2 trillion last week.
They're like increasing by like 5%
Yeah,
weekly.
like 100 billion in a week is crazy.
That's what FA makes it his day job.
Yeah, I mean, I never said don't buy Nvidia. I just said that I would be very cautious of it. It's just I think this is. I don't think this company's worth 2.1 trillion.
Well, I mean,
Nowhere near.
we're not telling anybody to buy anything. This is not financial
Yeah,
advice.
not financial advice. Yeah, just saying.
FA is just saying that he would not buy Nvidia, which
Yeah,
is a different thing than saying you shouldn't buy Nvidia.
I had bought Nvidia in 2016, but then I sold.
But I guess moving on from Costco, speaking of Nvidia and tech stocks, FA, who'd you pick for us?
Yeah, I picked Microsoft. So I know it's not an earnings thing, but they did have an earnings like a couple weeks back.
It was
And
fairly recent.
it was fairly recent, and it was really good. So the stock actually jumped quite a bit after that too, right? So it was. Let me see exactly how much. Well, it's not much, but it's like 1.3%. That's still good enough.
I mean, you're
I
talking.
mean, this company has a future. You know, it still hasn't accomplished its full accomplishment. So it just the AI just came out. Basically, everybody's trying to do something with that. Even PayPal is on the thing now. So it's just going to keep growing. And these guys are basically the gold standard of the owner of AI. You can't invest in OpenAI. You got to invest in Microsoft. And Microsoft has Azure. Microsoft has AI leading. It doesn't matter if the other companies are going to be coming up with better models or something. I think at this point, ChatGPT is a brand name when it comes to AI.
By far, no disagreement there at all.
Yeah, I mean, trust has been earned, and when you do that, you just dominate the market. Doesn't matter if Google comes out with something slightly better; they're all going to be doing the same thing. And who are you going to go as a business? You're going to probably go to ChatGPT. So that's why I'm very bullish on Microsoft, but just not on the AI front. Don't take me wrong. Like AI is definitely something very big, but I'm more bullish on Microsoft because I like what they're doing and their technologies, and I think they're the leading company when it comes to all these stuff. And I think it's reflected on the stock price too. They're a 3.1 trillion dollar company. They're gonna get into making their own graphics chips, which is also gonna be huge, right? But yeah, overall, so currently the hedge funds and other big money is actually investing more on Microsoft, and I think they gave it a B minus.
Mm-hmm.
And they had, yeah, their earnings per share was up like 33%. I think they're overall doing great, and their CEO is really good. As long as he stays as CEO, I'm very bullish on Microsoft.
I mean,
But
definitely. I
He's
instead
mean,
been
of
around for
Slack,
like 10
yeah,
years or
probably.
something, right? He's been the
Yes.
CEO for 10 years now. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not financial advice, like I said. Yeah, definitely something.
I mean, Microsoft, no doubt, is a great company. I think no one's going to doubt that. Also, as someone working in the financial world, if Excel ever goes down, we're screwed.
Mhm.
Like that
Yeah.
that sounds like a joke, but like I legitimately mean that. If Excel ever just like crashes, we're screwed. And then I mean, of course, you have some competitors for Excel, but I think you could even say make the same argument with like Excel as you can with ChatGPT. Like Google Sheets exists, but all the
Mhm.
trust is in Excel. Even if Sheets is comparable and also fully cloud based, we know browser supported. Everyone knows Excel. Everyone uses Excel. I mean, I probably spent 7 hours today poring over Excel spreadsheets.
Mhm.
It's audit season, folks.
Oh yeah,
Um,
surely.
and then
It's kind
F
of
it.
like monopoly in many fields, right? Like corporate comms, internal comms, etc. Like Microsoft Teams, Outlook.
Oh yeah,
Microsoft Project is actually one of the, not one of the, actually the only project manager software that I'm aware of.
I was
Yeah.
say yeah, like who rivals Teams? I guess Slack maybe, but like
Well,
who does it near as well as
They're
Teams?
not the same thing though, right?
I
Yeah.
mean, Teams is dominating because that's actually there was a lawsuit I think coming up on EU or like at least an investigation because they basically give free Teams to anyone who has like Microsoft 365, which is not competitive in nature. Because who's gonna pay money for Slack if you're
Yeah.
gonna get Teams for free? You know, I mean that's what we do in Marketplace. We just use Teams because it's literally free, right? I would have preferred Slack, but I'm not paying money for Slack. So
Mhm.
that's something that they might have to charge for people, and I don't know if people want to pay for Teams. It's not that good.
No,
It
it's
does
not as fast, I guess,
it
to
gets the
some.
job done pretty well though.
Yeah, but there are other things that gets the job done well and would cost the same amount of money if Teams were charging them
Mm.
and was
Yeah.
bundled.
Right now it's sold because it's free, basically, right? Yeah.
That's fair.
Oh.
That's extremely fair. I mean, I use Teams also at my 9 to 5, and the integration to Outlook is just it's so easy.
I was just checking Microsoft income, like if I could find a pie chart, like what products are they, like a revenue breakdown.
Ooh, that's a
So
good thing to look at.
interestingly, I
They
don't know
did
if
it.
I can like display this on the screen or something,
It's in the chat.
or just, can I just share my screen or will
Here.
it screw up
Well, at this point, sorry, Fa. I know I told you you couldn't, but I'm gonna let John.
Well, let's not do it though if it's gonna screw up the video. That's fine.
Yeah, it'll.
I can just like say it out loud. So yeah, like FA alluded, like majority it's coming from, how do you pronounce it? Azure or Azure?
Azure.
Azure. Windows is actually half of that by now. Xbox is very close to Windows, so I would say Azure is like almost close to like 40%, and then 10% Xbox and Windows. Microsoft Office another 20%, and then the rest are actually interestingly smaller ones, but LinkedIn, Bing, their search platform, I guess. Microsoft Enterprise Services, Microsoft Surface, which I don't really know what it's about, Microsoft Dynamics 365. Sorry?
That's the laptop.
Oh, the
When
laptop, yeah.
when did Microsoft buy LinkedIn? I had no idea about
I
that.
have no idea either.
It's been a while.
December 2016 is what Google says.
Mm-hmm.
I should have binged it to support Microsoft, but
So the flag bearers, I guess the top two carriers are like Azure and Office still to this day. Yeah.
that makes very much sense.
Yeah, I mean Azure is definitely it's the same as for Amazon too. It's like those cloud providers.
Yeah.
So much money.
Not many common average Joe folks know about this though, I think, right? Like when you think of Microsoft, where do they make money? Like people's first answer wouldn't be like Azure by far, I think.
Oh,
But
no,
average.
definitely not. It's not the first thing you think. I mean, it's the same thing as Amazon, with over half their revenue being AWS. You ask the random person on the street, they're going to say Amazon.com. Digital retail.
Yeah.
That's the same thing as it goes for the AI, as AWS is for cloud computing. I mean, it could change. It's just going to take a long time.
Yeah.
So I guess then, finishing up today, John, you picked a stock for us as well.
Yeah, I have a far less, I guess, known or interesting stock, but anybody who is interested in like value investing in financial services stocks, especially fintech, I've got a stock called Marqeta,
What's the
Nasdaq MQ, MQ.
MQ? Okay, that's what you knew what I was going to ask. Thank you.
So they've been suffering badly. Their IPO was actually 3 years ago exactly, and since then they've been down 80%. Their revenues also dropped year over year, like almost by 50%. They're also not that doing that great lately either. Their PE ratio is actually negative. So you're probably gonna ask me why did I pick this stock? Because everything hints pretty badly. So it's like six trades right now for 618, founded in 2010. Essentially a negative PE here almost means that they have like negative earnings or they are losing money, right? So I looked deeply into their financials. I was in the investor relations website earlier today, and what I found though is interestingly, obviously you check the message from the CEO, forward-looking statements, they're aggressive in their sales, but really what struck me as is that partially these results are because of an acquisition that they went through last year. So not on the revenue side, but definitely gross margin side, they shrank because they had to basically absorb an acquisition, which isn't going to be the case this year. And more importantly, their gross profits in terms of dollar, not percentage, actually is identical. Even though their revenues dropped by 50%, their gross profit is pretty much on par, 87 million versus 83 million. And the reason for that is their expenses pretty much remain the same. Sorry, their expenses dropped also in line with their revenues. So I guess there's a lot of variable costs per usage cost, etc. That gives me the hint that with the forward-looking statement and the fact that they've actually flipped 10% within their industry from competition recently, and I'm coming across them a lot, like in terms of marketing channels, in terms of embedded finance, because what they do is basically they provide alternative solutions, alternative lending, payment platforms, like almost like our private hubs, like private closed loop platforms, so you can like pay expenses to freelancers, make peer-to-peer transfers, they issue cards. So I see definitely potential. I'm going to do obviously more due diligence, but I just don't think that they're going anywhere. And like same with Coinbase, where everybody thought that they died, they researched like quite nicely last year. I think they will have some chance for a comeback too. This is definitely the bottom for them.
Well, that's all. Before we go too further, I do want to say shout out Dividend Dave. Thank you for joining us in the chat.
Oh, is he here?
He is.
Yeah,
Dave.
I did say hi 5 minutes ago. I guess you guys missed that part.
I did, and he says Microsoft has to make a lot from selling Office Suite to every business in the world. Yeah, you can't live without it.
Yeah.
I like how there's two Hey Daves in the chat, one from me and one from I'm guessing you, John.
Yeah, I was just making reference to the stock that I was talking about.
Yeah, back to MQ. That was kind of interesting what you were saying. Like, I mean, you're saying $6 is the low. You may have some insight on this, you may not. I mean, I'm looking at that EPS of negative 42 cents a share. They're to me looking a long way from profitability, which I mean, for and what you said, founded in 2010, a less than 15-year-old startup, that's not unusual. But out of curiosity, like, are you seeing a route toward profitability for them, or are they are they
Yeah.
still in the market penetration phase where profitability doesn't really matter yet?
No, they're not. They've been around like 14 years. They're VC backed. They've already done their IPO. They're definitely past the market penetration. I think they just had a really tough couple of years in terms of onboarding new clients, and they had to improve their platform because it's a very competitive ground. One biggest, I guess, like advantage of fintech companies is with relatively lower effort. I wouldn't say like effort in terms of people not working as much, but financial effort, I guess, and in a relatively short span of time, it's definitely easier to turn things around versus something like Costco, for example, if you know what I mean. Because they have a platform, they're selling this platform, their gross margins look healthy. It's just they need to start scaling and get more clients using these platforms, and then they'll instantly start flipping things for themselves.
Man, a fintech startup who just needs some more users to help them reach
Yeah.
profitability. Where
Yeah.
have we heard that before?
I mean, yeah, I'll settle for revenue.
Off topic, Dave wants to know, we've been watching Bitcoin today. Bitcoin hit 66K USD today.
I have.
I don't know what that is Canadian, Dave.
91, I think.
That sounds right. So close to a new all-time high. I believe you. I haven't really. I mean, I'm not a crypto. I don't hold any crypto. Um, no, Bitcoin right now in the U.S. sitting about 67.5. Wow,
Wow.
huge bull run. Almost. Yeah, I mean, up more than 200% this year. Wow. But who knows? When does Bitcoin report earnings?
Coin reports earnings when Satoshi reveals himself.
I heard February 30th. Every year,
Bitcoin.
February 30th. And then again
What
on
does that mean?
November 31st is when
What does
Bitcoin
that even
reports its
mean?
earnings.
Oh, so every day?
Well, February 30th.
Oh, I see. Okay, I get the joke
And,
now.
and
Sorry.
then
I'm sorry, I'm dumb.
November 31st.
Okay, I get the joke now. Sorry about that. I'm a little slow.
It's okay. Well, God, if you're slow, I don't want to know what that makes me and John. Because like I give FA a lot of crap, but my guy, you are the backbone of the site.
Thanks. Appreciate that.
Without FA, me and John are two guys
Yeah.
with an idea but no execution.
Yeah, exactly. Well, not even an idea in my case. Maybe you do that.
Um, okay, thanks.
Well,
Enough.
as I introduced myself to the beginning, as the original founder of MarketPlays, I
Yeah.
brought you guys on. Um,
You
that
lost that case already.
wait, what'd you say?
You lost that case in the court of law because you already said the other things.
I mean, you're right. I get your dad jokes. Holy, wait until you actually become a dad. I'm guessing that's meant for me. That's from Dave in the chat. I am full of dad jokes. Mostly, I learned them all just to annoy my mother-in-law. She does not like them, but I like my mother-in-law, so I give her a lot of dad jokes.
Does she watch the stream?
No, God, no, she does. I don't think she really knows what YouTube is.
Okay.
Seriously, without watching.
Um,
How
I
about
uh my my mom called me the other day to ask if I'd ever heard of some guy named Mr. Beast. So let's just go from there.
Wow, she heard about Mr. Beast. That's crazy.
Apparently, I've got older siblings who have had kids, and apparently one of my brother's kids is obsessed with the man. So my mom called me to ask who he was. And I was like, conveniently, we just saw him a couple weeks ago.
All right, so let's summarize the whole thing. So we said Costco.
Costco, solid dividend play, or on the dividend play because that yield's a little low. Solid stock, a lot of growth. A lot of analysts still think this stock has room to run, expanding, like we said, into the Chinese market. Great profit margins. I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, we actually have some discussion going on about Costco on the dividend stock. So if you want
Oh, we
to
do.
go there and look at it.
Also, rotisserie chicken overrated. So then, moving on. What do you think about Microsoft? We had to sum it up.
Yeah, so Microsoft, like I said, solid stock. I think it has a very bright future. All the offerings they have is good. They have high quality products. I think they have good vision. And that's the most important part is the vision because they can come up with better. You can count on them to come up with good products, not necessarily good execution. Unfortunately, that's their weakness. They have like great products, great vision, bad execution. But other than that, solid stock, I think.
Fair enough. And then following up to end our stream, John, last thoughts on Marquetta.
Yeah, market Nasdaq MQ. I think it's a good opportunity if you're looking to buy something like pretty much at the bottom. Could be a good value investing opportunity. I'm gonna do more DD, but their margins look healthy. And now that the big acquisitions already gone, like this year is their scaling year, they've already flipped 10% of their current customers from competitors in the last 6 months. They're definitely hiring more salespeople. They're very aggressive. They have a nice platform. for embedded finance, card issuing, and alternative payments, including some lending possibilities too. So definitely check it out. I guess if you're into fintech, similar to like Coinbase, PayPal, MQ could be an interesting one too.
Yeah, I've added it to one of the financial stock subs.
Awesome. Thanks.
Much appreciated, Mr. Fa. But yeah, I think that kind of sums it up. And thank you all for watching. Thank you all one day for watching. I did not see your tweet this morning, but I will look into that. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and thank you again to everyone who watched the replay. Subscribe to the channel, but most importantly, come make a free account on MarketPlays.com and let us know what you think about any of these stocks, pre-earnings, post-earnings, literally anytime at all. It's like Bitcoin; it never closes. And with that said, we will see you all next week.
Thanks for joining.
Thanks for tuning in, guys, and Dave.
Yep.